The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
WZWA Sports. It's in the game.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back here to the WZWA Network. Once again, you're here with your boy Hogsley, and guys, girls, everyone, I'm in a bad mood. I'm just going to try and unpack my thoughts here on this one. I'm obviously talking about the split decision win for Tyson Fury over Francis Ngannou. And there is a bit to unpack here. And look, I'm just going to do my best here. This was not a good look for boxing at all. You know I'm the boxing fanboy. I've been watching the UFC, but this result here today was just a horrible look for boxing. I don't think anyone could argue with that. It was just gross. It was gross to watch. It was an ugly, boring fight. The only thing that made it watchable was the fact that my butthole was tighter than a nun's pussy throughout the entire fight, because this was tense shit. This fight should not have gone the way it did. But it did. It did go that way. I don't know how to explain it. I think Fury, he was looking past Ngannou. He thought this would be a cakewalk. We all thought it'd be a cakewalk. There's only like a single person on this planet who didn't think that Ngannou was going to fight the way he did. There might be people out there who thought Ngannou was going to win, but they thought it was going to come out on an early knockout, not almost outboxing the number one or number two heavyweight boxer in the entire world, which is almost what happened. It's almost what happened. Now, I've seen a lot of shit online about this fight. I've seen people call this a robbery. So let me say this right now. If you believe this fight was a robbery, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know shit, okay? You're a fucking casual if you think this was a robbery. Carl Frampton and the rest of the UK commentators team, they're clearly biased with an agenda, or they also don't know shit. Because this was not a robbery, everyone. The right man won tonight, regardless of how it looked. I personally gave Fury 7 rounds, or if I'm going to be a bit more generous to Ngannou and a bit harsher on Fury, I'll give him 6 rounds to Fury. You add in the knockdown in round 3, and I will touch on the actual fight. That is still an either 7-3 minus 1 point, 6-3 win for Fury, or 6-4 minus 1 point, 5-4 win for Fury. Okay? This was a Fury win, everyone. But the issue here is it shouldn't have played out like this. This is not the way this should have played out. This was meant to be a dominating performance. This was meant to be Mayweather versus McGregor. This was meant to be 10 clear rounds for Fury. And it wasn't. And I think that so many news sites out there and casual fans out there believe just because Fury didn't dominate, he lost. Just because Fury was knocked down, that's a loss. That's not how boxing works, okay? Even if you think, and look, other people think, look at the fighter's face at the end of the fight. Who won that fight? That's not how boxing works, okay? Boxing is scored round to round, okay? It is like NBA or MLB baseball. All right, imagine a series, a best of series, okay? Imagine a boxing match is 10 rounds is actually a best of 10 series, okay? If one team, in this case a fighter, wins 6 of those games by 1 run or 1 point, and the other team wins 4 of those games by 99 points, who wins the series? It's still the one who won 6, okay? Doesn't matter if they edged them out and they got dominated in the other games, in this case rounds, the one who wins the most rounds wins the fight. So I agree that in the rounds Ngannou won, Fury was bad, okay? He was shocking all night. This was an awful fight from Fury. But he did enough. He had enough scoring punches and enough of the rounds to win this fight. So it was not a robbery. It wasn't. Even if you think Ngannou wins 5 rounds and then there's a knockdown, that is an Ngannou win. But that's not a robbery. That is a close contest that could have gone either way. It's not like Ngannou won 8 rounds like Carl Frampton thought it. That's ridiculous, okay? In the actual fight, look, Ngannou, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Ngannou. Okay, he clearly had a game plan. He fought smart. He's clearly got some skills in there. He's clearly got the power, which is, I think, played a big part into how well he boxed tonight. He was a lot better than everyone thought. But at times, he just wasn't doing enough. He was like a tree rooted to the ground for most of the fight. He sat there, just stood there, really, with the guard up, okay? And that caused a lot of problems for Fury because styles make fight, and this style worked so well against Fury. Fury was used to jabbing as they're coming in and working off the back foot and being the skillful boxer, but Ngannou wasn't walking forward. So Fury had to be the one that comes forward. Normally when Fury comes forward, the other guy sort of backs up because Fury's such a massive dude, but Ngannou wasn't. He just stood there, and it caused so many problems for Fury tonight. Anytime he was throwing, and look, so much to unpack. It really is so much to unpack. I'm coming off hot from the fight. I've had to watch a replay. I was out with family, but Jesus. I wouldn't be surprised if Fury didn't have a training camp at all for this fight. He clearly thought it was a cakewalk because he was bad tonight. There was zero accuracy. He was off balance. He looked like one of the YouTube boxers out there at times tonight. He was just rushing in and throwing wild punches. And this is why Ngannou's style worked so well, because Ngannou could eat Fury's best shot and it would just bounce off him like nothing, okay? And then he could throw back his own counter. And each time he did, he was catching Fury hard and flush. And then that all culminated to an almost shocking result, an almost knockout in the 3rd round. I mean, Fury got up quickly, but he was knocked down. That was a hard left punch. And it's all because Fury was rushing in, throwing just really wild punches for someone with that much skills, and he got countered. He got countered good. That was a great left hook. So you've got to give credit to Ngannou. And there, the style Fury couldn't solve that puzzle. This guy wasn't walking forward to be put on the end of a jab, and you couldn't back him up. He just stood there, rooted in the ground. But that wasn't enough for Ngannou to win enough rounds, in my opinion. Okay? When Fury was being stupid, he was getting countered and hit hard. He copped a few body punches. He copped a few hard shots. And he lost those rounds. But in the rounds he won, it's because Ngannou just stood there for a lot of it and was jabbed. And he was, straight right hand. The 1-2 was working for Fury when he was accurate with it, which he wasn't a lot. But that's the thing. Go look at the CompuBox stats. Once again, if you think this is a robbery, go look at the CompuBox stats, okay? Because you can see that Fury outlanded Ngannou through basically the entire fight. Jabs are a scoring punch, okay, everyone? There's no scoring for how hard the punch really lands. I mean, there is, but a scoring punch is what I'm getting at, okay? This was the same in that Triple G fight against Canelo, their first one. Triple G had that jab working all night, but it's not eye-catching, okay? Then Canelo was throwing the more eye-catching power punches, but they were just such in short bursts. On that particular night, and obviously the Canelo favoritism from judges, that was enough for Canelo to pick up the draw. But in my opinion, Triple G won that fight because whether you like it or not, a scoring punch is a scoring punch. Jabs are scored. And in my opinion, and I think the right opinion, the only right opinion, Fury did enough of that across the 10 rounds tonight. But he looked awful doing it. Look, once again, just so much to unpack here. I should really gather my thoughts better. But, God, you know how it is when you come off a fight like this and you're just hot. Because I'm hot right now. I'm heated. I'm sweating because, fuck. It was ugly. It was an ugly, ugly fight. And it's a bad look for Fury here. It really is. And Ngannou, even coming off the loss, he's done so much for his career as a boxer. I don't know what fighting league he is signed with right now, but he needs to tell them to shove it up their ass and become a full-time boxer. Either that or go fight John Jones in the UFC, because Jones ain't fighting anyone else. That Miocic fight's off the table, so I don't know what's happening there. So either go back to the UFC and fight John Jones, because I don't see anyone else beating John Jones, or stay as a boxer, because shit, man, I guarantee Francis Ngannou could beat a top 10 in this division. It's a weak division. Heavyweight's been weak for like 2 decades, but Ruiz, Ortiz, what about Helenius, more like it? I would favor Ngannou over someone like Luis Ortiz or Robert Helenius. Okay? He's got the power and he's got enough skills, and if he puts his mind to it, he's only going to get better. And that's part of this power that Ngannou possesses, is part of the reason why I think Fury fought so bad. I also think he just didn't care and he didn't train, but when he got knocked down the 3rd round, you could see the fear in Fury's eyes. He was at risk of losing this payday against Usyk. Okay, he was at risk of having the biggest upset in boxing history. This would have been a bigger upset than Douglas versus Tyson by far. Someone making their professional debut against an unbeaten heavyweight champion of the world. That would have been big upset, right? And as soon as he got countered, and as soon as he hit that canvas, you knew that Fury was like, fuck, I cannot afford to get knocked out here. This guy is better than I thought, and he's got the power to put me on my hole, put me on my ass, and I might lose. And you could see that he was so hesitant to actually then fight him properly. He had everything to lose. Ngannou had nothing to lose, and it was so evident. It showed so much. Fury did not want to actually get KO'd here, and he knew Ngannou had enough skills and definitely had the power to do it. So on top of Fury just not caring, probably not training, coming in at the heaviest he's ever been, looking unfit, now he knows this guy could actually beat him. And yeah, he was shitting bricks. I guarantee you he was shitting bricks in that ring. So a culmination of all those things just made Fury just fight this awful fight. He was hesitant. He was gun shy. The styles just weren't working for him. And he's very lucky. He's very lucky that this fight didn't go Ngannou's way. Because if Ngannou did more, I think he could have really challenged and won this fight. I know, look, I think you probably think I'm sounding like flip-flopping here. I'm not. What I'm saying is Ngannou didn't do enough in so many rounds to win that round. But when he was working effectively, Fury didn't have an answer for it. If Ngannou did more of that, you could look at that 8th round where he landed like this 5-punch combo clean on Fury. He had the confidence. He was walking Fury down and landing. If he had sort of fought like that through more of the fight, Fury would have been in huge amounts of trouble. Big trouble. But he just wasn't doing that enough, and he ends up losing this decision. But that's not a good look for boxing. It's not. Fury has so much of his image to rebuild here. And hopefully that comes in this Usyk fight. Now, it's meant to be December 23rd. That ain't happening, okay? We all know that that's not happening. But if it happens January, that's fine by me, okay? And I think it should. Fury needs to remind the world why he's number 1 or number 2 best heavyweight on this planet right now. Because I still think he is, okay? Boxing's it's a fickle mistress. Anything can happen, especially in that division. I mean, we've seen most of the biggest upsets in the sport have come at heavyweight, so it's no surprise that this shit happens. But you need to get back on that horse, and you need to prove that this was just an off night. Maybe the other guy had a fight of his life, like Douglas versus Tyson, and prove to the world who you actually are. And I think Fury is still that guy. I still favor him over Usyk. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Okay? I don't think Usyk's got the power like Ngannou has. He doesn't have the size to like bully Fury like Ngannou did. Okay? He's a better boxer. We all know that. But I think when Fury can fight as Fury likes to fight, being the bigger dude, I think that's so much advantage towards Fury. But he needs to fight Usyk. This needs to happen. His next fight. I do not want to see him fight another Chisora or go off and fight. Oh, fuck, who else is even in the division? If he fights Luis Ortiz or someone, that's bullshit. Go fight Usyk, unify this division, prove to the world who's the man, whether it's you, whether it's Usyk. That shit needs to be done ASAP. Ngannou, please stay. Please stay in boxing. I'd love to see you fight another guy. You will beat a top 10 guy. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You can beat a top 10 guy, and I want to see it because that's interesting. Okay, that just pumps life into this entire division. And I guarantee you're going to make more money doing boxing than you're going to do fighting for PFL or whatever the thing is. You're going to make more money here than you ever did at fucking UFC. Okay? So there's a few last things I do want to touch on. I've been messaging one of my mates. Now, admittedly, he doesn't like Fury. He's a USEC guy. And he's messaged me shit. So I replied to him, but I want to talk about what we've talked about because I guess where he's got his points from is from a lot of talking heads or Reddit posts and all that. The 7th round, he thinks that could have been ruled another knockdown for Ngannou. I think that's a lot of bullshit as well. Look, Ngannou had his arms wrapped around Fury. He's walking backwards. Fury's walking forwards, and he sort of falls down. He did get hit beforehand, but I think that's more of a pull to the ground than it was a knockdown. But once again, he was lucky the ref saw it that way. Fuck, the UK commentator saw it that way, and they was sucking Ngannou's dick hard this entire fight. Like I said, they thought he won 8 rounds. Okay, so if they didn't think he got knocked down, you can't say he got knocked down. And then he's saying that he should have been penalized a point for landing an illegal shot, an illegal elbow in one of the rounds. That's not how boxing works. So if you're one of these people who thinks that's how boxing works because you wanted Ngannou to win, that's not how it works. Unless you're fucking biting someone, headbutting someone, kneeing someone in the nuts, throwing a kick, or full-on pulling an elbow back and boom, popping them like Muay Thai style, you're not going to lose a point for the first time it happens in a fight, okay? Especially in an ugly, rough-as-guts fight as this one. It was accidental, even if it wasn't. Maybe it was a bit rough, a bit deliberate, but you get a warning. Warnings happens before you get a point taken off. And that's another point. I mean, this fight was just ugly, man. Just ugly, ugly stuff to watch. Look, Ngannou deserves all the credit in the world. He boxed his fucking ass off. He's proved he can do this shit. He looked so much better than everyone thought. He can counter well. He obviously didn't get overwhelmed by the moment, and he stuck to his game plan. But at the end of the day, he's still a bit green around the ears, okay? No one can blame him for that. For someone coming in that debut, that's been one of the best debuts from a 37-year-old you'll ever see in boxing, by far. But he's a bit green. And so that just led to, on top of Fury just fighting a garbage-ass fight, it was just ugly. They were just clashing so many times. Fury was jumping in, and they were just banging into each other like two big bulls. And if an elbow gets clipped in there, I understand. It was just, that's just what an ugly fight leads to. It just has headbutts and elbows because you're just running into each other. I tell you what, though, look, once again, my brain's just running. All right, I'm just thinking of stuff. But fuck, put Tyson Fury in the MMA cage with an Ngannou, because I tell you what, the double leg takedown was there for Fury the entire fight. Fury was almost tackling him to the ground. He was trying to clinch, and he was dropping the shoulder right to the midsection of Ngannou, and he was getting in. He was. If it was MMA, you'd wrap the hands around the legs, and you'd lift him up for the double leg. That's the kind of clinch he was going for. So I found that interesting. But, look. God, just garbage. Go watch the highlights. Look, let me know what you think. Do you think Ngannou deserved the win? I personally don't think he does. Like I said, just because he did better than expected and Fury did worse than expected, that's not a win in the official sense. It's a win for Ngannou in the terms he did better than expected, and he's done a lot for his image in boxing. It's that kind of win, but it's not an official win. He still lost this fight, okay? Tell me otherwise. Tell me give me the 5 rounds you think Ngannou won, or the more than that, okay? Because here's how I had it. 1-2 for Fury, 3 for Ngannou, plus a knockdown, okay? And then I had 4-5-6 for Fury, 7-8 for Ngannou, 9-10 for Fury, okay? You can possibly give maybe round 4 or maybe round 9 or 10 to Ngannou to give him the 4. But there's the 3. That's the 7-3 minus a 0.63 win for Fury, okay? The site I follow, boxingscene.com, they had the same. They had those 3, 7, 8 for Ngannou, okay? One of the official scorecards, that was the same. I mean, that's the way this fight actually happened. I challenge you to tell me otherwise, okay? Garbage fight or not, Fury is a deserving winner, but he has so much to do rebuilding his image. So look, that was just me just rattling off right here. There was no notes. I've come right off watching the fight, okay? So look, I had to smash it out. I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible. So hopefully you have enjoyed the review. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. We'd love to see some more Patreon subscribers. This has been your boy Hogsley for the WZWA Network, and I will see you down the road.
WZWA Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. WZWA Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. WZWA Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.